morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of City Hall Live. I am Joe Abeyta, and today we have a very important show. We have the Superintendent of the Santa Fe Public Schools, Dr. Veronica Garcia, and the County Clerk, Geraldine Salazar. How are you doing today, ladies?
Doing very well, thank you.
Doing well. Good to see you.
I have so much power at this table. It's just amazing. It's like awesome. Thank
it's amazing. We should just take over the world.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on today. So I know that there's a reason why you're on. We're here to talk about the mail-in election that's going on right now, and I know that there's been some questions from the public. Let's get into what is the election about?
So this is the Educational Technology Note. It's a continuation of a previous question or previous tax, which provides education technology and resources to students and teachers in the classroom. Professional development training, software. Basically, our students have their textbooks, on their laptops or computers. 6th grade through 12th grade have take-home devices so they can do their homework and keep up with their studies, do research.
Yeah.
And so it's a fundamental part of our education.
And it levels the playing field, right? Because you have the kids that can afford to get laptops, parents that can go out there and buy their kids laptops, sometimes multiple kids,
Right.
And then there's some parents that can't afford to go out and buy laptops. So what they do is they don't have the access that the other kids have. Right?
And it does level the playing field for all of our students. And I think what some people don't understand is, we wouldn't question a student having a regular notebook, a pen and pencil, right?
That's right.
Paper. These tools are just as basic to their educational program. And as we prepare our students, to go out for college or career,
Yes.
technology is integral into everything we do. I was visiting a classroom I think it was Thursday, and the students were doing a history project. They were collaborating, they were talking to each other, but they were doing research on their Chromebooks, right? I mean, that's just the way we learn now, is that we use technology all the time to continue and augment our learning.
Yeah, it's funny because my daughter, she was out of school for a while. They had a snow day yesterday, and they were off for President's Day, and she didn't have, and she got a homework assignment from her teacher on Monday, because they have all their assignments now on the Google School,
Google Drive or
Google
whatever.
Drive, yeah. So she's like, oh man, she gave them 4 chapters I have to read, and we had a snow day yesterday, and we should have been able to,
build a snowman, huh?
Yeah, hang out, but instead I got to read. But it's the way education is now, right? Everything is done through a laptop and internet and communication, right?
And it doesn't mean that teachers aren't interacting with students or that students aren't interacting with each other. It is a tool that is just as basic as having a textbook. And actually, many of our textbooks and instructional materials are digital. They are online. And some parents will say, or families might say, well, what if a family doesn't have internet at home? It doesn't matter, because they can download their lessons and then be able to do their homework at home. And that's for our 6th to 12th graders that have take-home devices. But within the classroom, our teachers have smart boards, and they use technology as part of their instructional practice.
And with that, you want them to use the entire the amount of all the technology with all the capabilities of it. So with that, you need to have coaches to help them out, right? Because teachers have to really focus on the students, and so it's great you have the technology note also helps you keep on board coaches for the teachers, right?
It'll help fund. Right now, I think we have about 18 digital instructional coaches, and the digital instructional coaches work with the teachers, helping them access software, helping them modify instruction, or even working with the students. I was in a classroom recently where students were coding, and the instructional coach and the teacher were hands-on working with the kids, or if the students run into an issue with the software, they can help them understand how to use the application in a way that enhances their learning. But what's great about this particular election is that all the resources go to the classroom. Even the 10% that goes for the technology support, it's, I mean, we've all had those problems, right? You're working on your computer and all of a sudden something isn't working and you need help, or you have trouble having a software application work as it should. So the technology support people go in and help the students or the teachers or the principals utilize their educational technology. But it's fascinating. If you've never seen a whiteboard, you know, we grew up in the blackboard days, but these, what we call smart boards actually, they just touch the screen and the kids can see the data display. They can, I mean, it's amazing. They can write a lesson on there and then pull in a video. It's phenomenal how it makes instruction exciting and engaging. And in the world that we live in today, that's how our students really learn, right?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
they're learning all the time themselves using technology.
Yeah, it's come a long way from me being excited going into Sister Mary Evelyn's class, and there was a bunch of different colored chalk, not just white chalk.
Well, different colored chalk
there
is
you go,
exciting.
right?
I
Yes,
agree.
Yes. So the county clerk is with us today, Geraldine Salazar. And my question to you is, I know that there was also talk that some people did not receive their ballots because it's a mail-in ballot, right? And we didn't get to that, but it is a mail-in ballot, and some people didn't receive them. What do the viewers have to do in order, the people out there that would like to vote, that would want to participate in this, they want to get their ballot, how can they go about getting it?
Okay, thank you. Let's first mention that all qualified electors within the Santa Fe school district received a ballot.
Okay.
We have a large database of all kinds of qualified voters.
Yeah.
But not all of them participate every year, correct?
Yes.
So their records may not be updated, their
That's right.
addresses may not be
Moved
updated.
or somewhere
So
like
that
that.
may be the reason why they did not receive
Okay.
the ballot.
Yes.
So we did send out over 80,000 ballots. And as of today, we've had over 15,000 come in.
Okay.
Okay, so we're waiting for more. We're going to see what happens.
Okay.
But in the event that someone should not receive their ballot, what they can do is contact the Santa Fe County Clerk's Office at 505-986-6280, and we will provide them a provisional ballot so they can still vote in this election.
Okay. Can they go down to the office to get it?
Yes, absolutely. They
Okay.
can go down to the office, they can call the office, they can communicate with my staff, they will tell them how to do this. But the main thing is to contact the Santa Fe County Clerk's Office to see what they can do.
Okay, no, that's great, and have personal experience going to the county clerk's office, and your staff is top notch. I just want to give you a heads up on that.
Thank you. I agree with you. We
Yeah.
run a great office there. We have people that are very dedicated to elections and all of the work that we do, because we have lots of responsibilities, from issuing marriage licenses, recordings. It goes on and on. But we love what we do, but it's a lot of work, but we're there for the public. We take public service very serious.
Yes, and I got to say, I had an opportunity to work with you too for the last mayoral election, and I very impressed. It was a pleasure working with you. So
Thank you so
thank
much.
you, thank you.
By the way, a shout out to Stephen Frescus. He worked with us getting ready for this election. He was a joy to work with. Thank you.
Absolutely. He's been working very hard, because we're not only working on this election, we're working on the voter registration board. We're already looking at the next election. There are many variables that we're dealing with besides all the administrative duties that we have.
Yeah, no, great, and thank you for being here today too.
You're welcome.
And they can
Thank
get
you.
a ballot right up even until the last day if they had to. We hope that they'll come early.
If they had to, yes.
But so what I want to say to the voters of Santa Fe, we don't take you for granted. We want you to participate in this election. And so please, contact the county clerk's office. I don't think it takes a whole lot of time if they go down there to get
Absolutely not.
to get their ballot. So I really encourage you to do that.
Let me
And
also mention a few dates that are important, because someone may want to vote in this election, and they're not registered, so they need to be aware that on February 5th, 2019, the voter registration rolls have closed.
Okay.
So you're not able to register to vote or update your voter registration. So that's one date that you need to understand.
Okay.
And then remember that the election day for this election, this all-mail ballot, special election for the Santa Fe School Board is March 5th, 2019. So you can vote up until that day. So that's the end of the voting that day. That is election day for this election.
And you cannot send in your ballot on March 5th. You need to have it in your possession by March 5th.
Absolutely.
So if you want to
7
vote,
p.m.
you'll need to go down to the county clerk's office, fill out a provisional ballot, correct, and turn it in physically that day.
Yes.
Okay.
But if you do receive your ballot that was mailed out to you, I encourage you to participate in this process, to
Okay.
vote, and then submit it. It is pre-postage paid, so they don't even have to go looking through their stamps and how much they have to put on that envelope. Everything is prepaid.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
No, you.
No, you go ahead,
Well,
because I got something
I
else.
want to clarify something, and our bound counsel, has to write the ballot question in legal terms to ensure that we have the appropriate language that is required in statute. And that language talks about creation of debt. And the creation of debt issue has really confused people. We have a hotline that people can call, and we've been fielding a lot of calls.
Okay.
And the creation of debt, people...
What's the hotline number real quick?
And I don't have it with me.
Okay, we'll put it down below there.
But
Yes.
please, let's have that number, we can have it added on. But the creation of debt question, people thought it was a new tax. So I just want to make sure that people understand it is not a new tax. So if they vote yes, it will not increase their taxes.
Okay.
Okay.
And that was my question is, what are the 3 things that you want people to know about this upcoming election?
So the first thing is that this election, the money goes into the classroom, supporting teachers and supporting students and in their instruction. Secondly, it will, I lost my train of thought here for a second.
That's fine.
Sorry. But yes, it goes into the classroom.
Okay.
And it supports teachers and supports learning, and it's basic to our educational program.
Okay.
So that's the first thing.
Okay.
The second thing that I think is very important for people to know is that it doesn't increase taxes. And I know that the language, the legalese, is confusing because it talks about creation of debt. And so it's not new.
Okay.
This is a continuation.
Okay.
Does not increase taxes. The third thing is contact the county clerk's office. If you haven't received a ballot, you want to participate in this election, please contact the county clerk's office.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. We really appreciate it. Again, you need to get your ballots in by March 5th. This is
7 p.m.
At 7 p.m. If you have not received one, you can contact the county clerk's office, and you'll see the number down below here in the graphic. And if you have any questions, you can also look at this graphic down below here as well to contact the public schools if you have any questions about this election. So, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and folks, I want to thank both of you for coming on today. But stay tuned. We have a technology coach with us today, and also a student as well. So please stay tuned. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, folks. And with us right now from Ortiz Middle School is Faber Osorio.
Yeah.
And the digital learning coach, Felicia Maestas, and she is the digital learning coach at the Nye School and Pinon, right?
Correct.
Yeah, well, welcome. Thank you guys for coming on. It's an important show today because we're focusing on the educational technology vote that's going on right now as we speak. And but we have you, which you guys are in the trenches every day with this technology. So I need to ask you first, Faber, how does technology, what role does technology play in your daily routine at school?
We use our computers for research and to search things up. Instead of having to go through book to book, we could easily find the book through the computer, and it'll make it much easier to find our resources.
What does it mean for you to be able to take a Chromebook home as opposed to just checking in class at the beginning of the day, and then checking it out at the beginning of class, and then checking it back in at the end of the day? How does it help you out when you're able to take it home with you?
Helps us out a lot, because if we get to take it home, we get to do more research about the homework and more about what we're learning at school.
You have communication, right? With your teachers, if you wanted to email them about an assignment, or say how you have a question about an assignment, it gives you access to them after hours, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's important too, right?
Yes, it's really important, because if we don't understand something, we need the extra resources we can, so the teachers could lend us the resources and we just have to look them up.
Gotcha. So, Felicia, you're a digital learning coach.
Yes.
Can you tell me, so what does a digital learning coach do?
So digital learning coach wears a lot of hats.
Okay.
Digital learning coaches are former educators, so we understand the whole educational process. And I shouldn't say former, I should say we're sort of current educators.
Gotcha.
But now we're working with teachers and students all the time. We are really there to offer support to all.
Okay.
We offer support to teachers in sharing new tools, in helping with anything they might need, in enhancing their lessons. If they have an idea, we're able to support that, or maybe have some additional ideas to help them just bolster their lessons. In addition, we work very closely with students. I spend a lot of time in classrooms, probably 80% of my time in classrooms as a co-facilitator to the teacher.
So, your role is to really help the teacher out, right, and help the students out with technology and integrating it into their daily routine, right, in the classroom.
Absolutely.
Where it's not a thought, it's more instinctive now, more than we gotta pull out our Chromebook and I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this lesson. No, it's becoming more just like tying your shoe, instinctive that way, right?
Absolutely. And teachers, they're professionals. They've been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
So every tool we introduce is not going to lend itself to a specific teacher. But certain ones really speak to the teachers and they get excited about them, and we support them in the way that helps them, in the way that helps their teaching practices.
And also it gives them a little bit tool. So if there's like a hard topic, right, that not everybody in the classroom's trying to grasp, maybe the learning lesson might have a game incorporated into it, right, that make things easier.
Yeah, it would.
And that's I've seen that several times in the classrooms, just going to visiting, that those things do help out. The software produces this way of explaining something, right, that maybe other kids can all understand it, right?
Well, yes. So access to technology.
If I said that right, I apologize. But okay.
No, I mean, you're definitely on the
Yeah,
right track. So
yeah.
access to technology allows for different opportunities to learn things. Some people learn by reading. Some people want to watch something. And some people share what they know in different ways as well. And I believe that technology gives students those opportunities. The opportunities to share what they know, to create things, and to really express their unique voices about their learning. And without technology, you're more limited. With technology, there are programs that allow students to be very creative in how they're showing what they learned.
Yeah.
And it allows teachers to share what they want to teach in multiple ways.
So I know the schools, in the past years, you guys have built up to this, and it's because of the past technology note votes that have created, has assisted with the technology that's in the schools now. But let me ask you this. How have you seen a difference? Like, as far as when you first started as a digital learning coach as of today, what has been the big difference for you that you've seen from the support that you've gotten from the community from the past votes?
So I see it, the student engagement and student interest and student voice. You can see more student voice. I know that a project that Favre's worked on where they're actually creating something, designing it, modeling it, and then printing it on the 3D printer.
Gotcha.
That's really a student showing multiple skills with one lesson. Students get excited about being able to videotape themselves or show a math lesson. We have a project at Piñon in the 6th grade where students create tutorial videos for certain math concepts.
Oh, wow.
So they're trying to, the goal is that they're teaching somebody else the math concept that they've just mastered.
Yeah. It's funny because, well, I've seen even like for music lessons that, you know, they have to practice, so they show their homework is to perform in front of a camera and send it into their teacher, right? Their instructor of them playing the clarinet or the horn or guitar or something. And which brings up a question. Some people might say that, like, you know, well, giving them access to technology is going to create more screen time for them, and my kid's already on the phone and always, you know, doing Snapchat and Instagram and this and that. It's a different type of thing here, right? Because you
Absolutely.
it's part of their learning process, right? The Chromebook, correct?
Absolutely, and it's important to just realize that it's the tool that helps enhance a lesson, which doesn't mean that they're on it all the time. It means that they're using it when they need to use it. So, you know, in order to prepare yourself to create a tutorial video about a math concept, you need to have done multiple math problems and on paper, and your teacher has to have gone over that, you know, in class, whole class instruction, and you might have worked in a small group. All of that comes ahead of you know, putting your own creative voice into how you want to explain that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've come a long way, right? Since we do our homework on a piece of paper, and then we turn it into the teacher, and then she grades it, and we get the grade back, we get the feedback or whatever. Now it almost, in a sense, streamlines education into, you know, I won't forget that question I was going to ask you at 8 p.m. last night. I just don't remember what it was because I'm a teenager. I got so many other things going on, and I just, you know, something you have access to your teacher, and you're able to turn in you don't have to say your dog ate your homework anymore, right? Because you'd have to be a big dog to eat the Chromebook. Or virtual Pac-Man going to eat your homework inside the cloud or something. So, well, thank you so much for coming on today. We really appreciate you taking time. How's Ortiz Middle School, man?
It's a great school.
Awesome, man. That's good. Good to hear. Thank you for coming on down.
Thank you.
And thank you, Felicia, for coming
Thank
in
you.
too. Appreciate it. Folks, want to thank you for joining us today on City Hall Live. Folks, have a safe week. Have a great week. Adios.